So Booker T and Swerve Strickland, they've had this beef for a while. This all stems from back. So remember we did a story, and if you want to check that story out, you can go look at our playlist. It was in there. It's one about Swerve Strickland. So if you remember, Swerve Strickland, he got his contract back in the summer or whatever, and there was a story that came out that he got overpaid. WWE side thought he got overpaid, and then Swerve was on like the Breakfast Club, and he was like, "Well, what do you think about them saying you were overpaid?" He's like, "Well, it's because I'm black." So this stems from that. Booker T, he had a response to the fact that Swerve Strickland kept talking about the fact that black wrestlers in WWE were underutilized. This is where it all stems from. So we have first have Swerve Strickland. He says that the black wrestlers are underused in WWE. Booker T's like, no, they're not. So now Swerve Strickland went on this Vlad TV, and he responded to Booker T responding to him. Did you keep up with all that? I hope you did. So let's hear what Swerve Strickland said in response to Booker T responding to him.
Because I'm black, I've been working for the company for a long time, and I know I've been treated fair for the last 20 years.
That's not what happened when Vince said the N-word in front of you. That's not being treated fair. My opinion. And to that statement, it's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying what people are saying. I'm saying what your audience is saying. So it's not just me just talking out of my ass out of nowhere. It's what your audience has been complaining about for the better part of like 2-3 years from not seeing black talent even getting single matches on PLEs and stuff like that.
So there, Swerve Strickland says basically because Booker T let Vince McMahon say the N-word in front of him, because Booker T's thing was like, I was treated fair, I'm black. I was treated fair, I'm black. What are you talking about? So that was Swerve Strickland's response. You let this guy say the N-word in front of you. And then we have Booker T. Full disclaimer, I recognize that this is clearly a promo at some point, because he does go into promo mode. But he did go on his Reality of Wrestling, and he did a response, and we'll play the rebuttal from Booker T. Kind of long, gotta stick with us here. But let's hear it.
You said regarding Swerve's world title win.
That's high praise right there. I mean, and you know what? I don't like, like I said, I was at an event this weekend. I was at an event this weekend in Richmond, Virginia, and lo and behold, who was at the same event with me, actually as a part of the same party, and it was literally the first person I run into the morning of the event, and just like Swerve Strickland said, you know, me having the energy when Vince McMahon said the N-word, I rest assured I had the energy when I saw him, because I approached Swerve Strickland and I had a conversation with Swerve Strickland. Let's talk about the conversation in depth as far as what I told Swerve Strickland. I had an offer to be on Vlad TV before as well, and I turned it down. And they called me back and they offered me money to go on Vlad TV, and I turned it down because I was not going to go on Vlad TV and be exploited. I wasn't going to go on, on Vlad TV and him make me look like a fool in front of the world. I was not going to do that, and I wasn't going to go on Vlad TV and say anything negative towards any black man that's ever been in this business, because I know how hard it is for all of them. I've been the first one to say any brother getting his bag, I'm all in. 100%. But I told Swerve Strickland to his face how disappointed I am in him as a young brother, because all I did for Swerve Strickland ever was put him over and put him on a pedestal as being one of the best out there that ever did it. He deserved being the AEW champion. And for him to say something like that about me, I don't know if these guys think racism stopped in 1990 when I got in the business, but it didn't. Okay, you may not hear about a lot of racial issues with Booker T, because I handled racial issues head first. I opened doors. I broke down barriers for people like Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland perhaps would not even be here if it wasn't for me. I have to apologize for nothing that I've done in this business, because I've gone out there and literally represented in the ring, out of the ring, from day one all the way to this day in 2025. Okay, you speak on Vince McMahon and him saying the N-word. You want me to be angry black men in the company. You want me to not open doors and make, spaces for people like you. That's what you want me to do. Swerve Strickland, I hope you're never going to be in the movies. I hope you're never going to be on a movie set, because you might hear somebody say the N-word. And if you got a problem with it, they're going to tell your ass to get the hell out of here, because this is a movie, all right? And I'm upset. I'm upset because, more importantly, I'm disappointed at Swerve Strickland, because what I told him, and I'll repeat it, just like I repeated it to him, you got played. You got played, bro. You got played. You let that man play you and pit you against me and me against you. I don't know how many stories you ever heard about that on Vlad TV, but it's many of them. It's many stories out there about the black man against the black man, because Vlad is pitting them against each other. I don't know how many people you heard that got locked up from the federal perspective about going on Vlad TV. I don't know what the hell you doing on Vlad TV, first of all. What have you done to be on Vlad TV, okay? That's just my opinion on that. And as far as Swerve Strickland, just like I say, and me having the energy, the veracity, I got all that, because I'm still 6'3" tall, 230 pounds of romping, stomping, grave, damn, digging, destruction, Jack. And we got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
Wow.
Like I said, he cut into promo mode at the end there.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I think we had to put the whole thing, because I don't know that there's like a clippable moment that would keep it within context.
So Swerve took issue with Booker T letting Vince say the N-word, and Booker said, "You're going to hear that a lot. You better man the fuck up."
Yeah.
Obviously, my experience would be a little bit different, but I would suspect hearing the N-word and being called the N-word are two different things, right?
Yeah, it is. Booker T's kind of right. Like, you can't have thin skin, be ready to pop off or whatever. Oh, by the way, Swerve Strickland, I believe, signed to the company after that happened. So, where was that energy? If Vince McMahon was such a bad, racist person, if you knew they held down black people, you still signed there. So, where was that when that happened?
That's kind of my question too. If WWE is so poor for black people, why are they even signing?
Yeah. And he did mention DJ Vlad. I'm not really going to speak on that part of it, because I don't know anything about that guy. So I'll leave that for like the Joe Budden podcast or Breakfast Club. But I will say, though, Booker T mentioned in there that he was going to go on Vlad's interview. It really took a turn after this. Booker T said he's going to go on Vlad's interview. Vlad said something back. Booker T released the DMs, and yes, he offered to pay him. And Booker T didn't stop responding, and he's like, "Come on, man, you gonna come on the show? Come on, we'll pay you."
Booker said he refused to go on Vlad's show. Vlad released DMs saying, basically making it sound like, no, Booker had it scheduled that he was going to do it, blah, 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 blah. Booker released a second set of DMs where it ended with Booker saying thanks, but no thanks. So there was nothing scheduled. And then Vlad pestered Booker after, "Oh, come on, come to my show. I'll pay you a appearance fee."
Yeah.
He was trying to get in on the Bad Bunny song that Booker did.
Yeah, makes sense. If you're going to be a content creator, getting someone at the height of their popularity is probably a good move. Capture that virality. But I don't know anything really about this DJ Vlad guy, so we can stay with the...
He doesn't have a very good reputation.
Apparently. If Booker said it's true.
But he does get a lot of interviews, so...
But yeah, if he's getting people arrested,
I don't know if he's ever gotten anybody arrested. The thing with him is he gets a lot of young rappers on to talk about their crimes and their cases, because that's the exciting shit with the rap game. How evil they are when they're not rapping.
Is he rubbing himself as they talk about it?
Yeah, he rubs his nipples while, "Oh, so how many murders you got?" So then, they'll talk about some dumb shit and incriminate themselves on camera. And then the black community has an issue with him because he kind of gets people to incriminate themselves. His thing is like, well, I'm just interviewing. They're saying whatever. They also call him a culture vulture.
I can understand why they would say that.
And yeah, I'm not a fan of his, but it's not relevant to the story.
And I don't know anything about him. So, well, outside of what you just told me. I just wanted to throw that information out there so it's a complete story. Just know the timeline has branched off to that. But going back to the Swerve Booker T thing, yeah, I tend to side with Booker T on this because you can't be the angry black man, or maybe you can, but you can't expect to get far if you're going to do that. He said he was breaking down barriers so that people like Swerve can get into the business. But I would put that more in like Junkyard Dog and, like before Booker T's time. Even though in WCW, especially when we watched Hog Wild or whatever it was, that was uncomfortable. How they treated Harlem Heat back then. But here Swerve is. He's always talking about the damn race thing. Like, come off of it. In 2025, we're pretty watered down. I don't know what else to say about that. Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.